Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup presents Inner Sanctum Mysteries, starring Lee Bowman. Good evening, friends. This is your host, Raymond. Welcome to the Inner Sanctum. Come in, won't you? What are you staring at? The walls. Well, you know that old saying about walls having ears. Well, these walls have eyes and a nice assortment of fingers and hands. One of them has a heart, but you can't beat that. Don't mind me, friends. In my old age, I'm getting to be a bit of a gore.
You're getting to be a crotchety old bachelor, that's what.
Who said that? Oh, Mary Bennett. Hello. Tell me, Mary, do you think I should get married? You know, I used to have a girlfriend, but she threw me over. She was a vampire. She said I wasn't her blood type.
Mr. Raymond, please, what a silly thing to say. More and more, I'm convinced that what you need is a wife. I'd just love to see the way a wife would handle you.
Would you send me a wedding present, Mary?
I sure would. I'd send you a big supply of Lipton's noodle soup. You know, I'll bet your wife would appreciate that. My goodness, in the old days, it took a woman all day to make a pot of noodle soup, whereas nowadays it only takes a jiffy. That is, when you use Lipton's noodle soup mix. But Lipton's has got the same homemade taste, believe you me. It's got the same chickeny flavor. Yes, sir, a hot plate of Lipton's noodle soup is a grand welcome home for the whole family. One whiff of that savory Lipton's noodle soup, and folks feel relaxed and ready for dinner with a rousing good appetite.
Well, now, that's a very pretty picture, Mary. Which reminds me, our story tonight is about one of the fine arts, murder. It's called Death is an Artist, an original tale by Frederick Maytho. And our star is from Hollywood, Lee Bowman, soon to appear with Rita Hayworth in the Columbia Technicolor picture Tonight and Every Night. So curdle close to the fire and turn the lights down real low. By the way, if you have a little spook or two in your home, looking behind your shower curtains before turning on the water is the courteous thing to do. Otherwise, you might be dampening your spirits. Now let's get on with our story.
I'm Stevie, a reporter. I'm what's called a police reporter because I hang around police stations for my stories. But tonight, I'm the best reporter in the world because I've got that kind of a story that's only given to one writer in 1,000, once in a lifetime. This story begins with the end of a man's life. Yesterday, an old man living alone with his 5 cats on an abandoned barge under the Brooklyn Bridge cut off the heads of 4 of his cats, then expertly slit his own throat from ear to ear. At 6 o'clock on the morning we got the flash about this old man, I was playing cribbage with Mike, my police pal, at the station house squad room. Burke, the desk captain, was snoring his head off. Okay, Mike, there it is. Go, 121 points. That last run made it.
You're the luckiest jerk, Stevie.
We're both lucky. Not a call the whole night.
Sure hate to drive out to anything in this blizzard. Uh-oh.
Police, 84th Precinct, Brooklyn. What? Yeah. Wait, say that slower. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a week. His cats ain't around. Oh, but lady... Huh? Blood in the snow. Well, that's different, sure. Yeah, okay, thanks.
What's up, Captain?
Some dame passes an old barge down the foot of the bridge on her way to work every day. Says an old bum lives there with his cats.
Don't tell me I got to rescue a cat now.
No, this coot talks to her real polite every morning. But she ain't seen him in a week. Today she goes to look close like and finds blood in the snow near the door. So
So we go see. Probably went south for the winter. Coming along, Stevie.
Yeah, but I don't like it. Burke mentioned cats, and I hate cats. And I hate people who keep cats.
Well, this is it, I guess. Come on, Stevie.
Hey, look, Mike. There's a snowman.
So what? Haven't you ever seen a snowman?
Yeah, but look. That's not an ordinary snowman. It's a beautifully sculptured head of a woman made out of snow.
Ah, come on. It's cold. Let's get inside this scow here. Hey, open up. Open up there. Open up inside.
There is blood out here, Mike. Look. See? Here's where the woman's footprints stop.
Okay, Sherlock. Help me bust this door.
What's the matter with you?
Look on the floor.
Holy mackerel. 1, 2, 3, 4 cats with their heads cut off. And another one. Alive.
Hey, where are you going?
I told you I can't stand them dead or alive. One of them clawed me when I was a kid.
Stevie, get a load of this over here on the bed. He did a good job. From ear to ear.
He had done a good job. He was naked to the waist, and his hairy torso was bathed in blood. His head lay to one side and was nearly severed at the throat. His mouth, a strangely sensitive mouth, hung foolishly open in the middle of a matted mass of beard. But it was his eyes that stirred something inside me. They were coal black agates that smoldered with defiance, even in death. They seemed to carry a message only I was meant to see. I turned away and stumbled over a small wooden box. It contained clay fragments. An impulse seized me, and I carried the box outside.
What do you want that box of trash for?
I'm not sure. I just felt I ought to take it along. Mind?
Just junk. These bums collect the screwiest stuff. Come on, I'll drop you off at your paper. You'll get a news beat on this anyhow.
Okay, Mike. Thanks. I'll call you later to see if you identify the old bird.
All right, Stevie. Hey, here's that box of junk. You want it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mike. I wrote the item. All we could learn was that he was Ivan. No fingerprints on record, no relatives, just Ivan. So he stayed just Ivan to 250,000 readers and to the police. But to me, he was a man who had not yet died. I poked through the rubble of clay in the box, and I was about to throw the whole mess out when a time-blackened metal tag caught my eye. It was the kind of tag used to mark paintings or statues. It read, Agatha, January 2nd, 1924. 20 years ago, today. And below that was a name, Ivan Thorne. The name jangled a bell in my memory. It frightened me. It fascinated me. I rummaged in the box some more. A hunch grew to certainty. Ivan Thorne had been a sculptor. Here was a fragment of clay, a nose. Here, part of a chin. Here, an ear, a woman's ear. And the snow image of a woman's head came to mind. Why did Ivan Thorne, a sculptor of obvious talent, do a head of a woman named Agatha in clay, then on the same date, 20 years later, as a bum, reproduce it in snow and slit his throat? I found the answer in the yellowed clippings of the newsroom morgue. The story of Ivan Thorne was filed under Murders Unsolved. After I'd read the story, I marched into GC's office.
Hey, what's up, Stevie? They study the Brooklyn Bridge again?
No. You read the item on the old guy I found with his throat cut?
Sure. Cut off his cat's heads, then his own. Unidentified. Good item. I
know who he is. Was.
Yeah? Story?
Story. You got time to listen?
Shoot.
Well, this begins in a sculptor's studio off Washington Square on a stormy night long ago. Ivan Thorne and Agatha, his wife, were having words.
For the last time, Agatha. Are you really going through with this divorce foolishness?
For the last time, yes. I'm tired of living from hand to mouth. I'm tired of your stupid statues. I'm tired of your stupid cats. I'm tired of you.
All right. I'll give you the divorce. You can marry Greg Stevens. He'll give you everything you want. But Horace stays with me. I want custody of the boy.
The court will decide that.
Agatha, I've been working on that head of you for a year. It's good. I think the museum will...
Oh, that thing? It doesn't even come close to looking like me.
Of course, that head isn't you. It's what I remember you as when I first met you.
Ivan, let go of me. You're hurting me.
All right. I'll let go of you. But I'm going to finish that head, Agatha. And you're going to help me.
I will not.
You'll get your divorce. Only if you agree in writing to pose me one day each month for 6 months. I must finish it.
6 months, And what about Horace?
He's away at school all the time. We'll let the court decide a decent arrangement.
All right, Ivan, I'll do that. Give me that pen. Here. I, Agatha Thorne, agree to pose for a sculptured head by Ivan Thorne on the first day of each month for 6 months. Signed, Agatha Thorne. There you are.
Now, get out. Get out before I break your neck.
She's gone. She's gone. But I'll see her again. 6 more times. That's all I need. 6 more times.
Sounds to me like this Ivan guy is working up a neat little catastrophe.
Mr. Raymond.
Yes, Mary.
I got to thinking about that snowman they found. Did you ever make a snowman?
Oh, sure, and I cut off his head for a souvenir. Kept it in the icebox over the summer.
And you're teasing me, Mr. Raymond. But you know, when I was a child, we used to spend all afternoon making a snowman. And then we'd go in the house for supper with our cheeks red as a frost apple and with a real country appetite. The house was so warm and cozy. Yes, and filled with all the exciting smells of good cooking. You know how children are. They play in the snow and then come in ready to eat you out of house and home. And I've got a grand suggestion for these winter night suppers. Lipton's Noodle Soup Mix. It's such a heartening dish. Thrifty, too. Costs a lot less than canned soups. Yes, Lipton's Noodle Soup just seems to belong to folks young and old who've got a healthy appetite and a yen for homemade, chickeny-tasting soup.
Mary.
Yes, Mr. Raymond?
Mr. Bowman is waiting to resume his part of the young police reporter, Stevie. That's right. You remember, Stevie told his editor that Ivan was divorced by his wife, Agatha, 20 years ago, and how the events that followed turned the sculptor into the tired old bum he was when he slit his throat under the Brooklyn Bridge.
Well, Stevie, did Agatha get her divorce?
Yes, and the court gave her custody of their 6-year-old kid, Horace. She married Greg Stevens, and according to these clippings, she kept her agreement with Thorne. She posed for the head he was doing of her so that he could finish it.
The first day of each month for 6 months, huh?
Yeah.
How'd he take the divorce and losing his kid and all?
Beautifully. So everybody thought. It got to be the talk of the town. The three of them, Agatha, Greg, and Ivan, seemed to get along fine together. The Stevenses were frequent callers at Thorne's studio.
Oh, Oh, I say, Thorne, why won't you show me the head you're making of Agatha? It isn't fair, you know.
Not till it's finished, Greg. You wouldn't appreciate it as it is now.
It really is good, Ivan. When will you finish it?
Yes, Ivan, when?
I want to finish it on New Year's Day. That will be the last time you need pose, Agatha. Can you make it that day?
Well, I'll just have to, won't I?
Yes. At 3 o'clock?
At 3 o'clock. Come on, Greg, darling.
Good night, Ivan.
Good night, Ivan. My goodness, 6 months goes by so fast, doesn't it?
Six months. I gave them 6 months. Monday, it's over. Monday is the last day she poses for me. Monday, I'll finish that head. I love her. And for 6 months, 6 centuries, she belonged to that idiot. He took my son from me. You can't hear me, Agatha. Can you? This is you and Clay. You can't hear me. Everybody thinks it's wonderful that Ivan Thorne is such a good sport about it. I fooled them all. I fooled you. Yes.
Then he really was out of his mind, Stevie, the Ivan guy.
Sure, but with a madman's cunning, he disguised it well. At that point, only his cats knew it, I guess. New Year's Day, 1924, was a howling wintry day. Neighbors later testified to seeing Ivan's massive frame, coat flailing open in the wind, eyes staring, unblinking, as he turned into his building. It was the last time they saw him. In his studio, Ivan kicked his door shut and began talking to Agatha's statue, as he'd gotten into the habit of doing now for some time.
I'll set the table by the fire, Agatha, just as we always did. You like that. And I'll set a place for little Horace. Oh, I know you don't want him to come here, but we'll just make believe, huh? Agatha, I must pull myself together. Happy New Year, Agatha. Come in, come in.
And the same to you, Ivan. Oh, let me get to that fire quickly. I'm frozen up. Why are you bolting the door?
The draft rattles the door. Here, give me a coat. Now, how about a bite? By the fire?
Why, Ivan. How quaint. Just like old times, hmm?
This is the last time you'll come to pose. Have you minded living up to our agreement?
No, Ivan. You've been very decent about it. But tell me, why are you so set on finishing the head you're doing of me?
Have you ever seen a human skull, Agatha? Ugly thing. Long after that pretty head of yours becomes a skull, the head I'm making of you will live in ageless bronze. That's why I'm so anxious to finish this work.
I see. Well, shall we start, Ivan? Ivan, you're not working. You're just staring at me.
I'm studying the line of your neck, darling. It eludes me.
Well, hurry, please. I've sat here for 2 hours now. I'm tired.
I'll be finished soon. Then you can rest, darling. Then you can rest.
Ivan, you're looking at me as though... Ivan!
You've moved your head again, darling. Here, let me show you. There. So. Just like this. Don't move, Agatha. My fingers are loose on your throat. But in a split second, I can sink them into you tight. Like this.
Don't...
I've loved you more in these few months you've been away from me than I ever did before. I'll always love you. But if I can't have you, no one else can.
Ivan, you're mad. You can't...
I gave you 6 months with that fool because I wasn't sure. I thought I could get over losing you and the boy. But I can't.
We all thought you were...
Resigned.
No.
But even now, I don't know if I want to kill you, Agatha. I'm not sure.
No, you don't. You know you don't. Think of Horace. Your son.
I am thinking of you, little fool.
Oh, Greg. Greg, help me.
Greg. You've got the nerve to speak his name here. No. You aren't Agatha, I did it. But you made me do it. How beautiful you are. Dead. Look at this clay head. Agatha, see. I was wrong. You're much more beautiful. I've changed my mind. I don't want fame. I don't want a statue. I want you. See, Agatha, I've broken it, smashed it. It's Greg Stevens who should die. He did all this to us. Yes. I'll go see Greg. That's it. But I must be careful now. I must make Greg suffer. Oh. I have it. Yes. He must know that he, too, has lost Agatha.
Wow, that's some yarn, Stevie. He actually strangled Agatha, huh? What happened then?
He left his studio and called at the Stevens' house a little after 6. Greg Stevens and young Horace were the only ones there, except for the butler. He testified that Ivan quietly asked to see Stevens alone. He had a bundle in his arms, covered with a piece of black velvet, when Gregory greeted him.
Ivan, well, glad to see you and Happy New Year to you. But where's Agatha? She was supposed to be with you.
She'll turn up shortly. Said something about a girlfriend she had to stop by for.
Oh, I see. Well, come on in, Ivan. We can have a glass of sherry while we wait.
Thanks.
Put your package down somewhere on the table here.
Thank you.
Did you get a lot done today on the head, I mean?
Yes. I've finished it.
Oh, good. Say, that wouldn't be it in that box, would it?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is.
Well, good heavens, man, let me see it. I've been kept from all this long enough. Now that it's
No,
finished,
wait.
I'd love...
Till Agatha gets here. I'm going away for a while, Stevens. Before I go, I want you to tell me something. Do you love Agatha? A lot, I mean.
A lot? I worship her. I adore her.
You know what you did to me when you took Agatha and my boy from me?
Well, the choice was hers. I'm glad for my sake. I'm sorry for you. But I thought you were resigned by now.
Resigned? You poor fool. I've lived a life of raging hate for you.
Ivan, sit down.
You don't have to be sorry for me anymore, Greg. You can start feeling sorry for yourself.
Thorne, what are you driving at?
Everything comes out even, Greg. Come over here.
What's in that box?
Come closer, Greg. Here. I'll take the cloth off. See for yourself.
Agatha. You fiend. You beast, I'll kill you.
Hurts, doesn't it, Greg? Hurts to lose Agatha. Doesn't it?
I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Oh, you won't. Get away from me. You won't kill me. I won't kill you. We'll both live to remember.
Thorne didn't kill Stevens?
No, GC. He knocked him out. They found his footprints in the snow along with the kids. He must have stopped to say goodbye.
What a story. He slit his throat this morning as a bum on a barge.
Yeah. Took his cats with him. The clay fragments I found in that box on the barge were all that was left of the clay head of Agatha.
Nobody even found out how he got away or managed to stay hidden for 20 years?
No. That's his secret.
Well, write it up, stupid.
I can't. I won't, G.C. You can't print that story.
The devil I can't. Where's this Greg Stevens? Where's Horace, the kid? Find him.
Greg Stevens died penniless and insane a year later. His kid was raised in an orphan asylum.
Well, find the kid. Now, let's see. He'd be about 26 today. Maybe he doesn't know any of these things. What a scoop. Get busy.
Look, you can't print this story. Why do you think I didn't write it up and hand it in? I feel sorry for the kid. I was raised in an asylum.
A story's a story.
What do I have to do? Draw you a diagram, G.C.? Why do you call me Stevie?
Well, because your name is Stevens, I guess. And, good heavens. You don't mean.
Yes, my name is Stevens. I never use my first name. I don't like it. It's Horace.
That's right. You're Horace Stevens.
Yes. My father was Ivan Thorne.
You have a little sculptor in your home. Better take his modeling away from him. Might grow up to be a bust. That's enough to give anybody the creeps.
It certainly is, Mr. Raymond.
Oh, Mary Bennett. Say, didn't you like our story tonight?
Well, it was exciting, all right, but why don't you tell stories about normal, happy people? Of course, folks like that never get murdered or anything, but interesting things happen to them. Nice things, too.
Like discovering Lipton's noodle soup, huh, Mary?
Well, why not? Lipton's noodle soup is a good way to brighten up a meal, and good meals are a mighty important part of life. So, folks, maybe you've tried other envelope soups, but if you've never tried Lipton's noodle soup, you've got something real nice ahead of you, because Lipton's is the favorite noodle soup of them all.
Our moral for tonight is don't drive alone. If you have a car, lucky you, form a carpool. Then, if you should have a flat tire, you'll be among friends on that cold, cold highway. Fun, huh? And Uncle Sam says join a carpool, too. He's not kidding. He says your carpool will help save gas and tires, so look to it, Max. Yes, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is Net of Cobwebs by Elizabeth Sanksay Holding. Oh, yes, and you won't forget to look for Lee Bowman with Rita Hayworth and the Columbia Technicolor picture Tonight and Every Night. Well, now it's time to say goodnight until next week at the same time when Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup again present another Inner Sanctum mystery directed by Hyman Brown. Good night. Pleasant dreams.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everyone. How are we this morning? 5 a.m. It's the 29th of May. And so begins a little short vacation for Joey. There you go. Of course, he probably worked last night, so he's dog tired. Yeah, what? So I stopped, I started my coffee a little late. So it just finished brewing. So I'm going to go get myself a cup of coffee. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I swear. No, really. Time for coffee. Coffee. So how's everybody doing out there? How's it going? Hey, Joey, you're here. What's up, Joey? I missed you yesterday. I really did. What's going on, dude? What is going on? Oh, you just got on the plane. Holy hell. Are you coming here? Are you coming right here? Because it's Thursday, so we still have a house open for you if you want to come here and detox from work before you do anything. It's up to you. You can come straight here. You can stay in Arizona, or you can come here and go to one of the houses here and be free. Be free. Totally, baby. Me, I'm too expensive. I'm not free. I am too expensive. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah, there's a good answer. There's an answer that I understand. You got to put it in context. Too much. Yeah, baby. Right on. Dude's on a plane already. Wow. Dude is on a plane. So, watch any good airplane movies? Snakes on a Plane. I like that one. That one's funny. That one's a funny movie. I like it. Is it supposed to be funny? Because I find it hilarious. Snakes on a Plane is freaking hilarious. Yeah. See, there you go. Well, in that case, look at this. That's my Smith Corona typewriter. Well, one of them. Isn't she a beaut? Isn't she a beaut? I like how this is aged and yellowed here. Right? It used to be white, and then it aged. Isn't that cool? I believe it used to be white. Yeah, baby. Totally, man. It's fucking totally, man. Yeah. Yeah. She loves you, yeah. I finished the video Time Machine last night. I had to save it 3 times. I saved it once, doing a rest in peace to Rick Derringer. As soon as I saved it, I popped on my computer. 3 more people had passed away. So I went back to it, and I set up moments of silence for each of those other 3 people. You're just going to be listening to music the whole flight. That's perfect, dude. Perfect. I imagine after the show. Yeah. It can't be a long flight. Right? I mean, it's going pretty fast. Right? So are you going to come straight here? Have you decided yet? Do you want to come straight here and hang out, or do you want to come straight here and have your own house to hang out in for the first day? Like you're actually on vacation? I kind of thought that's what you'd want to do because you're on vacation and you want to get out. And the neat thing about that house down there is that you can just walk out of the house, walk down the street, and there's bars, restaurants, coffee, stores, shops, all kinds of stuff. 5-hour flight. And then that's going to put you to Arizona, and then you're still what? 4 hours away? 5 hours away? I don't remember. So if you do show up, you'll be showing up this evening, early evening, I guess. Oh, you coming straight here? Okay. Well, let me know if you want to come straight here and then have a house to hang out at. I'll go ahead and reserve it this morning when everybody's awake. And I'll have them hold it for you. 4-hour drive. So that's 9 hours. That's 10 hours away right now. That's 10 o'clock. That's 3 o'clock, right? 2 hours of sleep. Well, if you want to stay there and sleep, I can understand that. If you can make it here and then crawl into the house and pass out until tomorrow, if that's what you want to do, that's casual too. Come over for dinner, breakfast, lunch, or whatever. And then you're staying here with us for the weekend until we go camping. So it should be a lot of fun. I know Natalie's bored shitless because she's been out of school for a couple of weeks now, and it seems like forever. So yeah, I'm sure you guys will find something to do. We should be able to find a lot to do out here. There's so much to do out here. You think, well, they live in the desert, man, there's nothing to do. There's a lot to do out here. Yeah. Sometimes you got to drive to go do something, but we're really close because we're like right here in, central Southern California, like right in the middle. So you're literally less than a 2-hour drive to just about anything. Yeah. On a good day, it's like 2 hours. 2 hours to L.A., a little over 2 hours to San Diego. It's like, 3 hours to Vegas. A couple of hours to the river. Well, Arizona, of course, you know that. We're literally... Cool. I'm sure you both need an adventure, something to do. Something. So that's cool. That's totally cool. A couple of kids who need an adventure. Oh, man, what I need is coffee and bong hits. I'm telling you. Watch out, she might take you on an adventure. She has no idea what's going on. She's just always doing school stuff. I don't think she has a clue on how to adventure anymore. So good. I hope you guys just adventurize. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Anywho. Ooh, album of the day. Album. Oh, it's out front here. I still got Bobby Short up here. So let me get rid of Bobby Short. Oh, there's my TV guide. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. We've got the typewriter here this morning, which is pretty much what the day's about. My Smith Corona typewriter. I'm going to plug it in and turn it on. I warned the girls last night, or my wife at least, that I'm going to turn this on and crank it up and tickety-tack type with it. And she's like, so I won't think it's a rat? I said, yeah, right. There's going to be a rat out there typing. So if you hear a rat typing, it's me. Yeah, baby. Boy, coyotes last night. You not last night, but the night before. You missed the coyote incident story where the dogs ran out into the yard and chased a cat out of our yard and chased the cat into the coyotes, and the coyotes chased the cat up onto the pool house. But the cat got away, and the coyotes did not get in our yard. So there you go. There you go. Yeah. Well, there you go. So the record for today is the best of Philadelphia International Records. Okay. And this is just one of my favorite new records. Okay. Yes, it's got music by all of these guys. And it is just an awesome soundtrack of the 70s. It really is. It's got Backstabbers, The Love I Lost, Part 1, Me and Mrs. Jones, I Will, When Will I See You Again, You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine, TSOP, oh, The Sound of Philadelphia, Ain't No Stopping Us Now, If You Don't Know Me By Now, I'll Always Love My Mama, Part 1, Love Train, Close the Doors, and If You Only Knew. And that is totally Philadelphia International Records. Just fucking awesome jams. Awesome jams. Let me go ahead and shoot on over to the tuber. Let me shoot on over to the potato and see if I can find some Philadelphia International Records, because it is just awesome stuff. I totally remember hearing all of those songs as far back as the early 70s when I was a little kid, cruising around LA in the back of the car. And Nintendo Switch does online Game Boy Classic. And just hearing that old 70s R&B stuff all the time. Back when it was like new. It was like the new shit, man. And what was neat is that we were like right in the heart of LA, right? Like I said before, I spent some time going to school in Watts. And that music you just heard everywhere. There was this soul food kitchen restaurant that was just, it was like a house that had been turned into a restaurant. Yellow. It was a yellow house. It had the concrete steps up to the house, the big porch around it, and it was just a soul food kitchen restaurant. And the smells were just like heaven, right? And the sound of R&B, 70s R&B coming out of that place. Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Okay, so here I'm going to the tuber. I'm going to the tuber, and I'm going to see if I could find this record. Arg. Arg. Okay. The best of. Philly. Philly. No. Well, how the hell you spell Philly? Oh, yep. Phil A. Phil A. Belvia. Best of Philadelphia. International. You like how I talk to myself? Oh, Nasher Ol. Oh no. There we go. Get it right. And then we're gonna say full album. There we go. There we are. There it is. Vinyl review. So some guy's going to review that. We can turn that off. We don't need to listen to somebody's review. What do we got? 12 videos. International Records Vinyl 2021. Okay, that's the one I've got. Rapid Digital PC is the guy who posted this, and it looks like he's got all of the songs here. That's cool. So let's go ahead and take that. Let's just take it, man. Let's just take it. Let's do it. So how's the flight? Are there a lot of weirdos there? Any Karens? Any babies? Does somebody have a puppy? Does somebody have a dog? Totally, baby. Totally, baby. All right, here we go. Okay, so there's the playlist. And like that, there you go. There you have it. There it is. All right. I'm feeling a little weird. So yesterday, I took a nap. I went and napped out early and got up at noon. And my wife just walks in the door just as I'm getting up, which is perfect. So she did her lunch. I did a little bit of breakfast. Finally got some more protein shakes. So I had one of those. And then we went and played outside. I washed my shoes, and she threw her shoes in too. She's like, oh, well, if you're doing shoes. So we did a load of shoes and rags and stuff. So my slippers, mis pantuflas, and my tennies are still outside drying. So they're going to spend the rest of the day today out there drying so that they're good and dry. We also hosed down and cleaned really well the 2 cots and the 2 reclining camp chairs. Today I need to clean off my 2 vintage camp chairs and get those ready to put in the tent so that I've got a place to sit and be old in the tent. And then at some point today, we're going to take the tents, if it's not windy, we're going to take the tents down to the park and set them up, air them out, check for damage, do any repairs. Last night I pulled the TV out of the van and tried to retrofit in the new TV, and it didn't work as well as I'd hoped. So I have to come up with a new plan for my TV. So I'm not exactly sure how to go about attaching the TV. The spot that is there for the old TV is smaller. So therefore, if I mount the TV to the wooden fixture that goes in there, I won't be able to attach the wooden fixture because the screws to attach the fixture are going to be behind the TV because the TV is wider. So I need to figure out a way to put the fixture back on the wall in the van and then mount the TV to that. Or have it so that the TV hinges down or swivels down so that I can get to the screws and then hinge it or swivel it back up. So that's kind of what I'm worrying about, working on today, is how to MacGyver this TV, this new TV, into the old TV spot. What's neat is, though, if I do this right, I should be able to have it so the TV bends down like this, folds down, and then I've got a big cubby hole now to put things. I can put all of my kitchen stuff in there if I want. There's that much room. I can put my pots and pans and cups and plates and bowls and paper towels and my camping stove. I can put all of that shit right in that little cubby hole there behind the TV. So fingers crossed that I'll be able to get that done today. I have to scratch my head a little longer and figure out how exactly I'm going to do this so that I don't screw up the wood finish on this piece. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the fixture here where the TV, see that shiny wood? So the TV fit kind of in this slot here. This slot here is made for a tube TV, like the one sitting back here. And then it's got speakers. It's got little speakers on the sides. And my TV's going to kind of hang over those speakers, but that's okay because they're just little tiny tweeters. And they don't really have anything to do with anything at this point. So, so that's the size of the cubby hole, is that square. It's got a deep cubby hole behind it because it's used to having a tube television. It's been retrofit once with the new flat screen, but the new flat screen that was in there was a standard size screen, and it didn't have USB or HDMI, so it's pretty much useless. And it's not a smart TV because it's 25 years old, 20 years old. So I have to put that new TV in there, mainly because it weighs less than half of what the other one weighed. I don't know why the other one weighed so much. It's a smart TV, and it has the USB for my hard drive and HDMI. I can put I'm probably going to throw the PlayStation in there. Yeah, like that. So we need stuff coming out, some cords coming out to plug into, some extension cords coming out, so that we can plug in the switch and the DVD player if we want, or a VHS or something, anything. And this TV makes that possible. The old TV, not a chance. Yeah, I would have to go through something else in order to get it to go into that, and then it wouldn't work because it's not a smart TV, and it's not going to read my my hard drive. And that to me, that's the important thing, because with that lightweight TV and the hard drive and the smart features, I don't have to have anything else in there. I don't have to have a VCR, a DVD player, Blu-ray, nothing. And with it hooked up correctly, you can hook up any gaming system in there, and that's important. And it's not a huge TV. It's only like a 20-something or 30-something inch. It's not big. So, But in that van, it's huge because you're right there. You like right friggin' there, man. Yeah. I'm thinking about my wardrobe for camping. It's gonna be I think I'm gonna be taking my Dodge van shirt and wear that. And well, I don't know, maybe my KME t-shirt, maybe an Iron Maiden shirt. Keep it real, you know. Keep it real. And then it's probably just going to be t-shirts and, as usual, t-shirts and denim. What's really neat is I get to wear my denim jacket. And that's awesome. Sure, I'll take my corduroy in case we go into town. But for camping, I want to have that denim. I'm going to be a denim man. I'm going to have denim jeans on and denim jacket. Yeah, baby. I don't have any boots, though. I know, Joey, you're like, what? How can you not own any boots? No, the only boots I own are old work boots and some Star Trek boots that a lady gave me. She made boots for the Star Trek series, The Next Generation. And she had just a garage filled with boots. So she said, hey, you guys want some boots? So we were painting her house, and she gave us a bunch of boots. So I've actually got a pair of boots out there. They're old, they're used, but they're still in good condition, right? Actually, I think they're a little small for me. I think they're just a little bit small for me. What size do you wear? Yeah, anyhow. Totally, man. Totally, man. Totally, man. Yeah, video time machine, man. I got that out of the way. This weekend, I'm going to try to get another video time machine put together. Maybe today. I'll put it together and get it almost done so that Thursday, a week from today, I can add anything last minute to it and then post it. Like I said last night, I had to save that thing 3 times before I got it right. I saved it once and then had to come back and add 3 more names to the moments of silence at the end. And then I got it done, and I went through my file to organize it and went, son of a bitch, I didn't load up Betty Boop. I didn't put the Betty Boop cartoon in. So I had to go back and edit in the Betty Boop cartoon. And got that done. Whew. And I was like, okay, that's it. I got it. I finished it and put it to save and went to sleep because I knew it was going to take like an hour. And it literally said, it's going to take. So I saved it last night. I've actually saved it out 3 times, and before I went to sleep, I loaded it onto YouTube, and that's when it said it's going to take 2.5 hours. So I got up this morning, and it was loaded. The checks went through. There were a few copyright hits, but nothing to keep it from being aired on my channel, which is really cool. So and mainly because I've got that Rick Derringer tribute piece, and I didn't want to have to cut that out. I didn't want to have to cut out some of the commercials that have music in them. And I didn't have to, and it was so nice. So nice. So nice. So nice. So nice. It's so nice I've been named it twice. You can hear my refrigerator squealing in there. It's only a few years old, but I imagine because of the dog hair finding its way into the motor and belt and all that, whatever's in there. So now it sounds old. Had I known, I'd have put stuff around it, to keep stuff from going up into it. Man. You got dogs. that's what happens. You know, you go through sofas, you go through carpet, you got to paint the walls, and hair. Hair winds up in places where you don't really want it. To me, it's an easy trade. I'll gladly deal with dog hair and dog issues just to have them around, because I'm a dog guy. And it's just, no matter what, it's just worth it for me to have those fuzzy little dudes around. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. So, yeah, dude, you got the whole weekend here in Southern California to pretty much do whatever the hell wherever you want to go. I mean, there's so much to do. I honestly wish we could go to Disneyland during the week, because it's so freaking dead during the week, and especially like on a rainy day. There's like nobody in the park. You just go from ride to ride to ride to ride to ride. It's fucking beautiful. But I think the next time to do that is going to be like in September, when all the kids are in school. And then September, October, November. If you can go out there to Disneyland, California Adventure, during the week, a couple of weekdays, when it's raining, in like the fall, it's just you and a bunch of cats. That's it, man. It is fucking beautiful. A handful of employees and a bunch of cats. You know, because the population of employees changes as the population of the park grows. So more people are reserved to come in. They reserve more employees to come in, right? It slows down. They send people home. Totally. I had friends that worked out there, so I have a little bit of insight. Like, somebody posted one of those videos, right? And I'm like, all right, I'll sit here for a couple of minutes on the toilet and watch a video. And I swipe through this one video, and it's everybody, this video, and everybody's making a big deal, all right, in the comments about how the Disney characters are all acknowledging this girl with a disability who's down, way down over here, and she's waving, and you can't see her. All you can see is everybody reacting to her, right? And it's like everybody's like, oh, how sweet, and yada yada. And all I did was make the comment that that's mandatory for employees, right? And it is. It's mandatory for employees for them to recognize children with disabilities and make them feel special. And it's not a bad thing, and I didn't say it was a bad thing, and it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. But I just happened to mention it as a fact. And boy, the amount of trolls that come out of the woodwork. What big fucking deal? So it's a great thing, you know, and it's like, I didn't say anything bad. All I did was state a fact, right? And I never respond to trolls when they come out and start. And this one guy, he wrote this huge fucking long fucking comment, right? And it was like, yeah, so it's mandatory, so what? What they did was great, yada, yada, yada. Ask kiss, and trying to make me feel bad for having stated a fucking fact, right? And it's like, fuck yourself. You know? So I think I just hit an emoji with like a face laughing. Which is all I can do is laugh at these fucking jokesters. Because they get this wild hair up their ass, right? About somebody else's comment. And somebody else's comment should mean fucking zero to other people, right? It's my thought, it's my comment. I'm just stating a fact, right? Get over yourselves, people. Jeez, you know. It's my comment. I'm allowed to make a comment. I'm allowed to have a thought. I'm allowed to think freely. It's unfortunate that most people can't, especially the people making the comments. You know, they're just fucking mind-controlled fucking trolls who think that they have the right and the privilege, nay, the responsibility to make others follow suit. Yeah, fuck you. Go fug yourself. Go fug yourself. Yeah. Do you like to fly, Joey? Do you like to fly? Do you like gladiator movies? You ever been into a boy's locker room? You ever seen a grown man naked, Joey? That's from the movie Airplane, in case you're thinking I'm just a weird guy. That's a fun movie to watch when you're in an airplane, I would think, is to watch the movie Airplane. One of the airport movies, probably not so much, but the first Airplane movie, that's definitely one you want to watch on a plane, unedited, unchanged, unaltered from its original theatrical release. Fucking hilarious movie. It's like if you're going to go out on a Friday night in L.A. back in the day, you want to watch, like, Thank God It's Friday, you know? Yeah. Airplane. Great spoof movie. They like to spoof. So are you allowed to talk about the plane while you're on it? You're not allowed to text bad about the plane ride, because they monitor your texting, and then they'll kick you off the plane or duct tape you to the chair. He's writing bad stuff about us. He's pulling a Karen with his thumbs. We better strap him down. He's gonna freak out any second now. You got any Karens on the plane? I've never taken a plane ride. It's not that I don't want to. It's not that I'm afraid of flying. Although I'm not really keen on the idea of stuffing a few hundred people into a plane and then taking off. I've just never had the opportunity, right? If I had to take a plane flight somewhere, I probably would. Especially like in an emergency. Or having to get somewhere quick. But I've never had to get somewhere really quick across country that I couldn't just, fuck it, I'm just going to drive. I can see more driving. I mean, what are you going to see from there? Do you have a window seat? Can you see anything? Do you look out and all you see is clouds? You see shit whizzing by, but you don't really get to have that adventure. To me, plane rides are like what you do to hop over an adventure, right? Or to get over to someplace really quick so that you could begin that adventure. And you don't want the adventure in between. I don't want that adventure. I want this adventure. Right? No weirdos. Oh, what a boring flight then. I'm looking at one set of comments. And no Wi-Fi on the flight. I watched yesterday's show at work. Oh, you did? Okay. And no weirdos on the flight. I can't tell if this is new or old. So give me a thumbs up or something if you're still listening to me. And if you're not, then I will stop addressing you because that's kind of weird. Yeah. Hear me now and forget about me later. My daughter and I finished the That 80s show on the Tuber on YouTube. 13 episodes. It kind of ended abruptly. I was kind of looking forward to how they would have dealt with a second half of a season, or a second season if this 13 episodes was like a summer deal, which is a short season, so they can see, does anybody like it? And I think everybody had just moved on past that 70s show, or they were looking for that 70s show in the 80s. And it just wasn't happening. The fact that they moved the show from Wisconsin to San Diego, I thought was way cool. And then, had they gone on and done 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, would they have explored 1980s Southern California more, right? Would we have seen the dilapidated Hollywood sign? Would we have seen Skid Row back then? Would we have seen, them try to recreate a Hollywood club I don't know. I don't know. Well, it looks like Joey does not have any service on the plane. If he's got no Wi-Fi, then he's probably up in the air and buzzing by cell signals and can't get a grab. So I will see you in a few hours. I don't know what I'm going to do right away. At some point today, I'll probably take a nap so that I can get up, put my teeth in, and see you at some point today. You're also more than welcome to come straight to town and go straight to your house and pass out. You're not obligated in any way to feel like you need to come here unless you want to. We want you to be here, but we want you to feel free to do whatever the heck you want. And since you're probably not listening, and hopefully you were listening when I mentioned that a while back, so there you go. We'll get you here, we'll get you rested, and then you guys can have some fun, and we'll do some kind of dinner stuff, and gosh, it'll be great. Well, it is almost 6 o'clock. It's 5:45. At 6, I think we're going to crank up this typewriter here, and we are going to do a little bit of typing, and we can go ahead and there's my typewriter. I'll flip my yo-yo over here so you can see that it's a Dairy Queen yo-yo. Pack of Pall Malls here, because, you know, after Pall Malls you need a secrets. So you gotta have secrets and a Pall Mall. Coffee, gotta have coffee. Definitely gotta have coffee. So let's have coffee. Well, yeah, I can't believe my daughter's almost 21. Almost 21. I mean, at her age, I was almost done with alcohol, right? She's barely dabbled in alcohol, which is good because I've let her know that from experience, alcohol is poison. And just like marijuana is not good for you, smoke is poison. So she doesn't really drink, and she doesn't smoke at all. And she barely drinks. Yeah, she'll eat some gummies. Some of the marijuana gummies, but I've told her now, avoid smoking. You know, my parents were non-smokers most of my life. Well, cigarette smokers. They were pot smokers most of my life. So I grew up convinced by my parents that smoking pot was okay. As I gag, they convinced me that smoking pot was okay, it was healthy, but it was the cigarettes that were bad. Smoking in general is bad. So take it from the horse's mouth. Smoking bad in any form. Smoked meats, campfires, stay away from it all. It's bad. Yeah. Totally man. I'm going to heat up my coffee and then do about 8 bong hits here. No, maybe. If I could, I would. So I'll try. I really will try. splash a little coffee in here. It's just I think I made it a little too sweet. It's a little too sweet. So I got to get this Mexican blanket here into the wash because it is my fireside blanket, and I'm going to sit on a chair next to the fire most of the time that we're there. In fact, I've got to get out some firewood and get that packed into the van. So I've got a space for air mattresses and tents on one side, and then our chairs, camping cots, and then on the other side I'm going to stack up some wood. I'm going to try to bring 3 or 4 bundles of wood. I'm going to unbundle it and stack it in so that I can pull it out and unbundle it in case there's spiders. I don't want to put spiders into the van, so I'm going to unbundle all of the wood, or take from unbundled stacks, take it out, throw it out on the pavement, hose it down, let it dry off, and then throw it into the van. And then take a box of fire stuff. You know, the usual fire stuff that you got, a hatchet and some fire starters and maybe a little lighter fluid. We've got to pick up a box of briquettes. I think we're going to do like mesquite charcoal, right? The chunks of actual wood. I think we're going to do that. We'll get a small bag of that, but we should have a campfire going most of the time. So as long as it's not windy, I hope it's not windy. If it's windy, we'll have to bunch the van and the tent and the canopy up into the trees on one side and kind of do that and create a little wind barrier area. I imagine I should probably pick up a couple of tarps. I'll pick up some like green camouflage tarps, just in case we need to do like a couple of 10 by 10s so that we can enclose the canopy on more sides than just the one. It's got one wall side, so we need to have some other walls that we can hook up in there. So I'll pick up a little thing of the multi-pack of bungees, a couple of 10 by 10 drops that we can use for shade or to cover up a wall, a couple of packs of stakes. I've got a few bundles of rope and twine, paracord type stuff, so that we shouldn't have an issue with that. The tents should be really in good condition. And we've got your tent already set up, Joey, if you're still there. We've got your tent. We tried your air mattress out. It's awesome. Yep, we are rocking and a rolling. Rocking and a rolling. Rocking and a rolling. A rolling and a rocking. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that bong hit thing, man. I'm real excited about camping. I'm so excited. I'm glad that my wife is showing enthusiasm about it. My daughter even came out yesterday and said, "You need help with anything?" As I'm, kind of trying to load up the van and clean things up. And I would have liked to have had her out there hanging out, but I was just kind of all over the place, and I didn't want her just sitting there waiting for me to come back from doing something else. I was like, no, we're good. As we get closer to camping day, yes, I will require her assistance. I will require everyone's assistance once we're actually making this happen. 'Cause, I am broken, baby. I'm a broken man. And all I want is just to keep the pain away at this point. My wife. We were watching something. I don't know what. But she looked at me and said, "Well, how long do you think you're going to live?" And I looked at my wrist, and she just started laughing. "That soon, huh?" I said, "Honey, I hope I make it to the end of the year. I just feel old and broken and worn down, right? And there you go. There it is. I think what we might do is cook up a pot of stew this weekend so that we can take stew with us to heat up on the camp stove. Because I can eat stew. I love me some stew, and the way I cook it, it just melts in your mouth. So I think we'll cook up some stew. I'll pick up a roast, or well, maybe a roast. It's just great meat. Sometimes I get those packs of stew meat if it looks good. But I also love a really good roast, and then just cube it up into little tiny bitty cubes. So when you're eating beef stew, every bite has got potatoes, carrots, corn, meat, gravy, onions, mushrooms if we're going to put them in, corn, everything. It's just loaded. Loaded. So yeah, man. Totally, man. Stew. But to me, that's camping food right there. A big pot of stew. And I want to take enough food along for me that I can eat, because I'm not going to be chewing on ribs. I'm not going to be eating burgers and dogs and that kind of stuff. I'll have my teeth in, but I don't want to have to worry about biting on this side and having this side go wobbly, right? So I'm going to be taking it easy as far as food goes. And then, of course, I got to eat and then take them out and clean them and put them back in and that kind of stuff. So the menu, that's always fun, figuring out the menu for camping. I kind of have to play it close to home. I'm going to be taking stew and soup and hot cereal and stuff for breakfast, and my protein shakes and the usual stuff that I eat every day. But I will be taking along camping food for everybody else to enjoy, and I'll help cook as often as possible. I'm pretty wiped out physically, so I don't imagine myself doing a whole lot more after, like setting up camp, taking the dogs for a walk, going to the lake, that kind of stuff. I don't see much more than doing that. I'm just going to be hanging around camp. I'm just going to be camping. That's what I want to do. That's why I'm there. I'm there to camp. So I'll probably be at camp most of the time. Between camp and the lake with the dogs and the bathroom facilities, doing bathroom stuff and washing dishes and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I can't wait. It's a great looking campground. Lots of tall trees, fresh air, the smell of pine. Oh, the smell of pine. Yes. Yes. Makes me want to have a cigarette. I'll be out in Marlboro country. Oh, yeah. Adventuring. You guys need an adventure. When I was your age, I had been on so many adventures. Even before the age of 13, before I was a teenager, the first 10 years of my life, I had been on so many crazy adventures. So by the time I was a teenager and having friends, anything, I was ready for anything, and we would do some crazy ass shit. Nothing that would get us killed, nothing that would get us in trouble. Most of the time, we were just having fun. We would take stuff, camping gear and guns and knives and MREs, and we would just leave from my friend's house and just walk up into the mountains and just disappear. or drive up there to a campground and then just disappear up into the woods. And just be out there, you know, we weren't hunting, we weren't killing stuff, but we'd be blasting shit apart and setting up targets and acting stupid. We were usually pretty safe, you know, when it came to firearms. But boy, we were lucky a lot to not get into some scrapes that we could very easily have gotten into. Totally. Yeah, baby. I'm gonna plug this typewriter in here. See what I get. It's off. And now it's plugged in. Let's read from the TV guide. We have a TV guide here from 1978 we are reading. And we are on Thursday. Right? It is Thursday, so we are on Thursday. And we are going to look at Thursday evening. And I always like to look at the Hollywood Squares, because the Hollywood Squares tells you what actors are happening at the time but not working. Or they're working, so their show wants them to get out there and show your face so we can get people to watch our show. So on Hollywood Squares, Thursday night at 7:30, June 1st, 1978, Diane Carroll, Billy Carter, President Carter's drunk brother. Wow. Diane Carroll, Billy Carter, George Gobel, Harvey Korman, Linda Lavin. Harvey Korman, of course, is famous for being one of the funny guys on the Carol Burnett show, but most rememberedly from Blazing Saddles, when he played Hedley Lamar. Not Hetty, that's Hedley. And Linda Lavin, she played Alice on Alice. Paul Lynde, Tony Randall from The Odd Couple, Marcia Wallace, and Whalen and Madam. There you go. At 8 o'clock, June 1st, 1978, on a Thursday. Welcome back, Cotter. Gabe is in a panic in the waiting room. Julie serenely gives birth to twins. Oh, that's right. They had babies. Also at 8 in 1978 on a Thursday, Chips, John and Punch watch in amazement as a large, angry man, Rosie Greer, single-handedly demolishes his small foreign car. That's just one scene in that. And then the great thing about that is that the other part of the episode is at the end, Ponch has to go to traffic school. And at the end, he winds up sitting next to Rosie Greer. And Rosie Greer notices him. And Ponch is wearing a disguise because he don't want to be noticed as a cop in there, because everybody hates cops in traffic school. And so he's wearing this mustache and stuff, and Rosie Greer is like looking at him and pulls his mustache off. Funny episode. I love that. I love Chips. Waltons. I think Waltons is going to be our next show to watch, mainly because it's got like 9 seasons, and it's a drama, and my wife and I like to watch the old dramas. So, also at 8, Action Continues, some kind of news program. Jarvis Gunn versus Bear McCarthy debate. I don't care about that. Carol Burnett and Friends, Harvey Korman. At 8:30, Operation Petticoat. Operation Petticoat. John Astin is on that show. As I believe is what's her face? Oh, Jennifer Jason. No, not Jennifer Jason Leigh. another three-named girl. Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is on this show, Operation Petticoat, I believe, as a nurse or something. If I remember the shows correctly. At 9 o'clock, wait a second, at 8:30 and 26 is America Tonight comedy from the Pump Room of the Coma Cabana. Aspiring entertainer Tony Roletti is wed to singing waitress Joanne Sherwood. That sounds ridiculous. At 9 o'clock, Barney Miller. Wojo is buried alive while chasing a robber who's tunneling his way into a diamond exchange. Wow. Wow. Jack Sue is still alive. He was like my favorite character on the show, Jack Sue, Yamana. Also at 9, Testimony of Two Men. David Burney, Linda Pearl, David Huffman, Barbara Perkins, Steve Forrest. It's got episodes coming later. Hawaii Five-0 also at 9. Gil Gerard is a guest. James at 16. Here we go. James at 16 is Lance Kerwin's show. Lance Kerwin was the guy who graduated from my junior high a few years before I did. That's great. That's great to see James at 16. I tried to find James at 15, which I believe was the original pilot. And then the TV series, which was not really a TV series. It was kind of like a series of movies that would be on once in a while. But it was a great show, and I wish I could find more. Let me see if I can. I'll write this down and see if I can dig up James at 16. Yeah, I mean he goes through all of the stuff that kids had to go through, right? And how and he deals with it. Summer of 1942, a 1971 movie. Robert Mulligan. Nostalgic account of three teachers vacationing. Huh. Oh, I'm thinking Richard Mulligan. The Dunwich Horror, Gothic Lovecraft. Yeah, that's a weird one. 9:30 Fish. An argument over reupholstering the couch escalates into a marital battle that leaves Fish and Bernice sleeping in separate beds. Victor, played by John Cassisi. That is the kid who played Fat Sam on the movie Bugsy Malone. Just a great guy, great actor. Beretta at 10. Also Barnaby Jones. Barnaby Jones, my wife and I watched that entire series. Some concert, Arlo Guthrie and Pete Seeger in concert. Class of 1965. It's a drama, 60 minutes. Takes us into the evening with a few episodes of Love American Style, some Starsky and Hutch and MASH, and Johnny Carson with Orson Bean and Johnny Yoon, comedian. A movie at midnight, 12:05. Houston, We've Got a Problem. Apollo 13, Robert Culp, Steve Bell, Tim Cordell, Gary Collins, Sandra Dee. Oh, I see. Steve Bell is played by Robert Culp. Tim Cordell is played by Gary Collins. Angie is by Sharon. Sandra Dee and Sheila Sullivan. There's also Tomorrow with Tom Snyder. Alexander Haig Jr. is on. And then it goes into 2 a.m. and TV is off. No more TV. No more and then. So there's that. It's time for me to do a bong hit because that's what I do. And then I'm going to show you my paper, my typing paper. Yes, you have to have actual typing paper when you are typing. Otherwise, you can't erase what you're typing if you make a mistake. If you don't use typing paper, then you have to use whiteout to get rid of what you don't want to be there. And sometimes there's whiteout tape that you just stick in there. You go back, you put whiteout tape in there, and then you tap that same letter that you want to erase, and it puts a little white over that letter. And that's how you fix that. But I love my typing paper. When I got this typewriter, I was working at an antique thrift store mall where it was just this big giant warehouse type building, and they had, you just walk through it like a thrift shop, but each area in this shop belonged to a vendor. So there were, what section are you in? All right, that belongs to this vendor. He's not here. Let me call him and you can ask him about that price. And that's how that worked. Or there was somebody there walking around and they traded. Everybody who had a booth there worked there on a shift, right? So the guy that I was working for, putting up shelves and stuff in his booth, he had these things that I wanted. This over the edge poster here on wood. He had that sitting there on the wall, and I literally walked in, and he wasn't anywhere to be found. He wasn't there that day. I walked in, saw it in his booth, and took it off the wall and put it in my car, like that. I didn't care how much he wanted for it at that point. I put it in my car, and then I called him and I said, oh, by the way, I took that over the edge poster off your wall, and I'll give you whatever you want for it. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I found this. I found this typewriter there, and it was sitting there in this old dusty case. This is how they travel. They travel like this, so that you can set it down and open it up and use it inside the case, or take it outside the case and use it, right? So I saw that typewriter sitting there, and I'm like, oh, hello. And I opened it up and I looked at it, and I said, oh yeah, this is definitely. So I did the same thing. It was like I just set it aside, put it away so that nobody would take it. And then, do I have the other thing here that I saw there? Because I'd like to go ahead and show you the whole package that I found that day. No, it's another typewriter sitting there. But I also found a 16 millimeter projector, and it was in a case. It was in its case, sitting there, and I'm like, I know exactly what that is. And I asked him, how much do you want for it? And he says, I don't know if it works, but $40, $30 or something. And I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. And I took it home, and I had no film for it at all, but one reel from my father. And I'm thinking, all right, now I gotta, but I don't want to use his first. I don't want to use that very important little reel to test on this big machine and then have it destroyed. So I had to order some film. So I ordered some film so that I could play it through the projector to see if it worked. When I bought this typewriter, I had no clue if it worked. I had no clue if it had all of the functioning parts, if it had any ribbon, if the ribbon was any good, because you know it's an old thing. And I brought it home. I found out what model it is by researching it, and then went ahead and found out, this is really cool, found out what size of ribbon, what type of ribbon. I could have gotten black or black and red, so I got black and red. If you get just black, you can just flip them over and then just reuse them in the other direction. I got black and red because I like to have the options that it originally came with. So if you go up to red, then it'll give you red. And that's pretty cool. I don't remember exactly how to do all of that stuff. But I'll be danged if it isn't fun to type on a typewriter. You know, it's just really, really cool. So I went ahead and I ordered the ribbon for it. And I also found the paper. Let me do my bong hit here. Do it, Dilly man. I'm going to move my stuff aside a little bit. Bring my sliding tray here. This is a drawer that I turned into a tray to hold my keyboards, but it also has a little hinged pocket down here so I can slide my keyboards and mices in, and then fold this whole unit up with everything packed into it. That's pretty awesome. But I also use this as a little extension desk thing. Sometimes I eat on it, sometimes I work on it. This briefcase here, a lady had that had given me some records. She sold me a stack of her husband's records. Her husband's still alive, and I was like, "What are you doing?" "You never listened to him." So she sold them to me, and I paid like $30 for the stack of records. And I actually gave her more because I said, "Nah, these are worth more." So I gave her more. But later on, she got back to me and said, "I just picked up a bunch of my father's stuff after he passed away, and it was a bunch of Radio Shack stuff." And she says, "Do you want it?" I'm like, yeah, whatever you got, I'll come and get it." And I went and picked up a bunch of weird Radio Shack crap and a reel-to-reel player that didn't work. And she sent me a bunch of electronic parts inside this briefcase. So I took them out and put them elsewhere, and thought I'd use this briefcase to put my typing stuff in. So in this box here of typing stuff, I've got 4 packs of the eraser pencils, and it's eraser on one end and a little broom on the other end to wipe off the erasings, so you can erase it and then wipe it off. And this one needs to be sharpened. I also have 2 new sets of ribbon for this one and for the other one that's identical to this one, only a little bit larger, for larger paper. So I've got 2 brand new wheels of ribbon. I also have the old metal ribbon wheels here. And I'm sure that I could use these as black flipped over, because so far it's only used on one side. So I've got those in there. And I also have the information on where to get these again, in case I need to purchase more. I have 20th Century Typewriting, 5th edition. All right. And the neat thing about this book is that you flip it over like this, and it's got information on typing. How do you put your hands, how do you hand placement, that kind of stuff. It becomes an easel, and then you can flip this paper back like this. All right. And as you flip the paper back, it gives you all this information, right? It also, oh, here we go. It gives you lessons on how to typewrite. readings in American history. It's just got lessons for you to do all kinds of typewriting learning. It also has explanations on what these words mean when you're typing. It's got information on the typewriter itself. It's just got a lot of really old school stuff. And it's two-sided, so you stand it up and you do it one way, and then you flip it around and you do it the other way, so that you can see stuff from two sides. So you can stand them up. And it becomes an easel in either direction. And it's just bitchin'. I had a similar book like this, learning keyboarding in college in 2003, 2004. And it was a similar book, but it was for a keyboarding class, computer class. I gotta heat this up. Don't go anywhere, because I'm gonna show you my paper, my favorite stuff. So I'll be right back. So let's look at that while I'm gone. Doodly man. Doodly man. I'm not used to walking around the house without slippers on, so it's weird. I can't wait for them to be dry and I can put them on. They were just getting stinky. And my shoes were getting a little stinky too, so I took my shoes and made some soap water stuff and put a brush down inside my shoe and cleaned them up really good and got them all cleaned up, right? And then did the same thing with my pantuflas, my slippers. Got them all cleaned up, put them in the wash, a long, deep cycle wash. I think it was like a 3-hour wash. Maxed out with all the water we could to just, because it's not that I wanted them washed really good, but I also wanted the soap rinsed out of them. There's nothing worse than wearing a pair of shoes that have been cleaned and then getting a rash from soap still in the shoe. So I'm figuring 3 hours with 5 rinses, I think is what I did. I think that should be good. Yeah. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy. So, oh yeah, my daughter's going out this morning to get her hair done. For the longest time, she's had a big part of her bangs on one side has been a reddish color. And she's done green before, but now she's where she had some strips of green in her hair, and now she's gonna go to full green. I think she's gonna do her whole head green, which means she needs to bleach her hair all the same color light, and then from there add the color. So, wow. That's heavy stuff. I did some hair coloring when I was young. When I was young, I did a whole lot of weird stuff to my persona, my image. All right, so here we go. This here is my pack of typing paper. Miller's Falls Easy Race typewriter papers. And let me open up this pack of papers and pull one out. there. And we can switch to that. And this is the typewriter paper. And let me grab a leaf of paper, if you will. And if you look close, you can see the watermark. Right. So that watermark means that it is erasable. All right, and I believe it is erasable on the watermark side of this. Yeah. Anyway, what I usually do is I stick it in what I think to be the right way, and then I type and I try to erase. And then, of course, try to remember again and again which side to use. So if we put it in like that, and it'll come up like that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to load this. Put this over here. And so I warned the girls that I'm going to be doing this morning. Put it in and start clicking. Right, bring that up so that we can get it. Looks like it wants to damage the paper there somewhere along underneath there. So we're going to bring this up, bring this back down to hold the paper, and now we can move it around like that, right? And then I usually will make sure that the paper is even by pushing it here and looking at this parallel edge here to make sure that it looks even all the way across. So it looks even, so I'm going to let it go like that. These in the back here are going to help set the tabs, so it tells me how far the arm is going to go when it comes back, right? So it's going to go to the tab. This is a little close here. It seems to be writing right across the top of this thing here, and I do not know why. This needs to come in more, and let's turn it on. Here we go. And we're just using the space bar. See that there. Alright, so if we move this back over here, we'll hit the tab. And let's try something. Dear, who am I writing to? Who am I writing to? Dear subscriber, and then, oh, that's right, it doesn't have a return button. You have to do this. And double space it. And tab. How far in does the tab go? Set. There you go. Dear subscriber, first of all, comma, I want to thank you for subscription and your presence on my YouTube channel. There you go. And there's that. And I will, it likes to move around, doesn't it? Tilt this up like that, and you can see the letters in there. I'm going to turn this off, because man, that is kind of loud, isn't it? You got to have music on in the background to kill that. Let's see. Along with this pack of 100 sheets. There we go. Along with this pack of Miller Falls 100 sheets, I went, oh, pardon me, I know what that sounds like. I went back to the same eBay vendor, and I picked up this ream of the same paper. So it's an entire ream unopened. And basically, it's just one big box of paper. And I literally had to get it. I was drawn to it. I was driven to get this pack of paper. And so I did. This is the the correct type stuff. And if I take it out of its little plastic sleeve here and look in there, basically it's little strips of whiteout. And you tear the strip off and you just stick it in there, and it just whiteouts over the top. And this is so old that it's just flaking off. It is so old, which is why I think I had it inside that book. Nowadays we have whiteout on these cool little wheels. That makes it easy. I would have to pull it up, roll it up, put it on there, and then roll it back down. But I could use that. I prefer the little erasable paper and the little erasers because it's the way it was done. That's the way we did it back then. That's the way my father used to have typewriters, and he would have all of that same stuff, all that same paraphernalia in order to type. Put my case back down here. Oh, in the corner there. I love this little typewriter here. It is loud. We will bring out the other one at some point soon. I've got one here. Let's see. Okay, the one that I have here is one that I picked up for 10 or 20 bucks at a thrift store last month, and it's a Sears brand typewriter, very similar to this. They probably used the same patent, right? But I have not checked that one out yet. I have no idea if that one works. So the next typewriter day, we will be looking at either another Smith Corona or my Sears typewriter. I also have a couple of word processing typewriters, the ones with the little ball on it, with all the letters on a ball. I have a couple of those. I'm not sure if they're the word processor kinds that you can program, but they're the big, giant ones that we had in school back in the 80s and 90s. And I don't know if I have any more. I'll have to look. I may have more typewriter stuff. We'll check it out. Check it out, man. Check it out. Do it, man. is today? Today's Thursday. I got my typewriter here, so I had to move my morning show agenda over to my weekly programming easel. Oh, today is kind of Guitar Thursday, but I've kind of wasted a lot of time here fiddling about. So if well, give me a few minutes and I'll hook up the guitar and we'll get busy a little bit and see what happens. And see what well, maybe. I'm not going to promise anything. I know it's Guitar Day, but you know, nothing is set in stone here on this show. Every Thursday is going to be Guitar Day, so fear not, we'll be back on another Thursday. I'm getting a weird heart beating on my ankle. Right when you get a weird twitch in your leg or foot or something, and it kind of feels like your vein is wiggling because the twitch is right there. Anybody? Ah. Well, I can't believe Joey's on a plane. Joey's on a plane. Dude's on a plane. On his way. Well, that's cool. I get more visits from Joey than I do any of my family, which is kind of weird. This will be the third time Joey will be visiting in a year or just over a year. So that's pretty dang cool. That's pretty dang cool. Oh, I'm always dropping my little glass daisy. My little glass daisy. Yeah, it's my little daisy. Well, all the dogs are sleeping in today. Although Sammy and Oliver both slept with me for my nap yesterday. Mainly, I think, because it was early and Mom wasn't around. Mom took off to go help some friends, and I finished up a few things here and then crawled into bed for like 2 hours. A little over 2 hours, but I know I only slept for 2 hours. And I closed the door, so the dogs had no choice but to stay with me, and they did. They got under the blanket and they were out. And I closed their door so they couldn't get outside, and I closed my door so they couldn't go running around the house. I didn't want them barking. I didn't want them getting up, moving around every time they heard something, because then that wakes me up. But oh man, yesterday's nap was short, but it was perfect. And I got it out of the way before noon. So I got up, and I'm sitting there, and it's like 1 o'clock, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm going, I feel like it's going to be dark in an hour, because usually I get up at like 6 for my nap. It feels like it's going to be dark in an hour, man. So after I ate and got my act together, I got dressed and we went out and we accomplished a whole lot yesterday, more than I thought I was going to do. So that was freaking cool. Yeah, baby. I'm just going over in my head how to hook the TV up into the van so that it can be in the same spot and function and be safe. I want to have it attached up in there, but so that I can swing it down and get into it and get in behind it. You know, that seems logical to utilize all that. You know, it's like 4 square feet in there. So yeah, I gotta use that space. I've also got to take this. Ooh, another guitar hanger, right? I've got to take this, and this, you know what this is? This is a drive-in movie theater speaker that you hang in the window. Right? Comes off the post and you hang it in your window, roll your window up, and you got a little dial knob here for the volume. And you listen to the movie at the drive-in like that. Right? So I need, pardon me again, I need to take that and take it apart, clean it completely, polish it so that the aluminum is now looking like new. And then retrofit a Bluetooth system into it. It's got to be a really good Bluetooth system. It's got to have USB stuff so that it can be charged. I've got to be able to get an indicator light. It's got to be a good one that I can take apart and then retrofit the pieces into this. Put the speaker where the speaker goes, put the buttons and fix that kind of stuff where the knob is, and something with similarities would be good. A decent sized speaker, a volume knob, maybe a volume power knob. Click, it's off. Click, it's on, and you got power maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the different ones that are available and see what I can get to retrofit into this thing. Because it's either that or just turn it into a little speaker. But that's not much use. So if I turn it into a Bluetooth speaker, I can hang it in the window and Bluetooth YouTube or Netflix or something into it, right? That seems pretty dang cool, you know. A radio, an AM/FM radio / Bluetooth speaker would be perfect, because I could then use it at the drive-in. I could hang it in, literally hang it in the window at the drive-in. I could Bluetooth a radio app and put the radio on the phone and then Bluetooth that into the speaker and then use that at the theater. But it comes through the radio. So if I have a way of turning that Bluetooth speaker into a radio receiver, then it'll blast out the movie that's at the drive-in. So there's a little project there, fixing that and turning that into a workable drive-in speaker. And I also have my 1932 Philco radio that I need to work on. Yeah, there's a few things in here today that when I get done, I need to put out into the storage. And then there's a few things in here that I need to straighten up and dust and clean and put away. And get things straightened up because my guest will be here today sometime. And then I need to take a nap today so that I can be alive when my guest arrives. His last message about the trip was he's going to get off his flight and eat and get his car and then drive out. So I expect him about, I talked to him this morning and he just got on his plane at 5. So I am expecting him to be here at 4 and this 3, about between 3 and 4 o'clock, depending on traffic. So I need to go lay down at about 10 or 11, probably when my wife and daughter take off. And I think my daughter's going to get dropped off because she said it's going to be an all-day thing. She's got to have her hair completely stripped of color. Whoa. It's a good thing she's young and she can afford to destroy her hair like that, because it really tears up your hair. Both girls color their hair. I don't have any hair, so when I had hair I used to color it, but I told my daughter, yeah, when I was young, I got the sides of my head shaved, right? So all I had was hair up top, and I'm like, of course I couldn't do that nowadays because I would just be bald. Yeah, anyway, here's another one of those guitar hanger fork thingies, which is what I've got on the wall back here, where my Ibanez is hanging. And, you know, we really don't have enough time to set up the guitar and get into it. By the time I get it set up, I'm going to have to roll end credits anyway. So we're going to postpone Guitar Day this day. Yeah, well, if you didn't spend so much time smoking bong hits, hey, it's my morning, man. I do what feels right. I won't be taking any music with me, per se, but I will be taking the little stack of CDs that Joey sent so that we can listen to those. And then, of course, Bluetooth speaker, and then my stereo in the van kicks ass. And then, of course, the TV. So there'll be plenty to keep us occupied during the time, like late in the evening when the kids are like, I don't want to sleep. So there'll be, you know, plenty to do in the van. And that's cool. Because that's why I have that van, so that I can take my daughter camping and she'll feel comfy and cozy in a nice what do you call it? Luxury environment, right? And it's all wood and polished wood and leather inside there, and really nice lights and outlets, and it's really cool. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Of course, at some point we may have to get a jump start if we kill my big giant yacht battery. I've gone through, I think, 3 or 4 batteries in the time that I've had it. But I think that's because... Oh, time to wake up the wife. Oh. No, they're not. She's not getting up yet. Yeah, I've replaced the battery 3 or 4 times in the 3 or 4 years that we've had it. Mainly because something gets left on. There's this little switch for the fog lights, and I noticed the other day that it was orange, which means that it was sending power to the fog lights, but there's no fog lights, there's just these dead wires hanging out. And I'm like, I need to pull this switch out and disconnect it, right? And then what I need to do is, rather than have fog lights, I need to put camping lights on the passenger side of the van. Camping lights that brighten up the outside area. Maybe have put in dual switches down there and have left and right, so I can do the whole fucking around the van. Maybe do left, right, front, and rear, right? And have lights all the way around that, so I can put on the front and drive with these big extra lights on, right? And then when I need to search alongside the road, I can throw on the side lights and see all the way around. And then when we want the whole area around, flip on the back white lights and have those just surround the van in light, right? That would be cool. And that's pretty easy to do, because on the sides I could go into the bubble top on this thing, and from the outside I could put in the holes through the fiberglass, put a seal on that thing, and pop that light in there, and then just wire it right down into the switch, or put some switches up here, you know. And same thing in the back. Just have them right out the back of the bubble top. In the front, I would mount them to the front rain guard and mount them to that, and have a light bar or a couple of big lights. I don't know. Nowadays they're different. Back when I was a kid, there were these big giant incandescent bulbs, KC lights that were just like 500 watt monsters. Nowadays they're these LED lights that are, there's like no sunlight involved. They're just these blinding white, bluish white, just horrible lights. I don't like modern lighting. I like the old yellowish lights. Looking at those driving down the road was a lot easier on your eyes than this bright white crap they got nowadays. I don't know how they got those things approved, because they're just blinding, and then people abuse them, right? And then people put too many of those on their car. You got those 4xs with lights all over it, and they flip those lights on and go driving by, and after that, all you see is white. You can't, you don't, where's the road? Where's the road? You got to close your eyes so that your eyes can readjust, and then, take the wheel, honey. I can't see either. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible. Yeah, fucking horrible. Well, this ought to be a fun day. This ought to be a fun day. I can't wait to start talking about going camping, getting more camping stuff together. Find out what Joey's going to do to have fun, what he wants to do. Probably, he said he wants to get out. So, there's plenty to do. Yeah. I think my daughter was talking about getting ready to go to the beach with her friends. They were going to do some kind of beach trip or something, or a pool party, or we were just talking about having to get a new bikini, right? And I'm like, that's weird, because I never see my daughter in anything other than, school clothes, which is torn up jeans and a t-shirt, or home clothes, a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. So, yeah. Occasionally an evening gown on those graduation things, an occasional costume for a concert or Halloween. But, yeah, I never get to see her wear much. I was just thinking, swimming. There's no real place to go swimming around here. You got to go to the river a couple hours that way. You got to go to the beach a couple hours that way. You got to go to the lake a couple hours that way. There's a pool right here, but everybody in town uses it, so we don't. And then there's a public pool, which of course everybody in town uses it, so we don't. None of the houses that we take care of have pools, or we would do that. We would just go get the house for a day and have a pool day. Yeah. Read all about it. What's in the news? I was just looking at the video time machine. I need to go through and write everything down since everything was approved. Yeah, I need to go through and write everything in there that's on the episode, and then file it so that when I do the following episodes, I can look back and, did I put this in a show already? I just did that. I loaded up one show or one piece of music for the opening, and I'm like, that seems familiar. And I looked back, and yeah, episode 15 of last season, I had used that same Francis White from 1928. So I replaced it with something that I was pretty sure that I hadn't used before. But I like to dig up old music, use as much old music and old TV and old movies and stuff as I can, because it's a video time machine. So everything has to be audio and video. I got this blank space behind me where that TV was. I took it down to stick it in the van. Because I wasn't using it enough here. So I'm going to be working frantically on getting, well, straightening this camera, of course, first of all, and then getting another pack of picture frames so I can go black, white, right? And do kind of a pattern in that corner there with all the photographs. 8x10s. I got a shitload of 8x10s that I need to put up there. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about me, the early years again. It's quite possible we will have an in-studio guest. I'm going to be talking about being homeless and being a 15-year-old runaway. Because that ditching school for the last 6 weeks of the 7th grade, and then a year later, in the 9th grade, I decided to just walk away. My mother and I got into an argument, and I saw her and I totally got it that she did not like me at all. She did not want me around. She didn't want me to begin with. She didn't love me at all. She just wanted me out of the fucking picture. And it was me that came between her and the old man. It was me that screwed up everything and threw that family dynamic out of whack. If I hadn't been born, everything would have been fine. So I used to get a lot of that feeling, that vibe from her. And at 15, I just couldn't fucking take it anymore. I mean, she literally hauled back to fucking hit me. And we looked at each other like, you know, how fucking dare you? The both of us were like, how dare you? And I just grabbed my shit and turned around and walked out. And I didn't look back. In fact, I don't think I moved back home until she was out of the picture. And it was just my father. Actually, I did come back and forth a couple of times, but she was gone. She was out of the picture. She was out of the picture. My siblings had already kind of checked out, and I was the last one to be living in that school bus in front of somebody's yard, you know, and I was just over it. I was just over them doing nothing, you know, and always criticizing me for doing what I was doing, you know. I mean, to hell, I had no clean clothes ever, and I still went to school. I had nothing to eat, and I still went to school. I went homeless, right? I ran away from home. I was a runaway, and I still went to school. I went and stayed with friends just so that I could have clean clothes and go to school and get my good grades and graduate, right? And when I was at home, I could never do any of that. In fact, I moved back home when I was 18 and couldn't graduate because I had no support at home. I had more support when I was living with the families of friends. And then I felt like I could make it, you know. But not by the means of my own family. That was just out of the question. Out of the question. So tomorrow, I really get to talk about being homeless. And then I'm kind of hoping that I do have an in-studio guest. Probably not on camera. But at least able to have some kind of back and forth, a sounder, somebody to talk with, somebody to ask me questions. Joey's always kidding about co-hosting, so now is going to be his opportunity. He'll have 3 days, 3 days to have the opportunity to co-host, whether he wants to be on camera or not. I'll try to set him up a microphone so that he can be heard at least. And then he can also do comments. But I'd really like to have the opportunity to have somebody here with me when I'm talking about my past, so that I can be prompted into talking about other things, because that's what's gonna bring up stuff that I don't remember right away. And then I'll be asked a question, and then I'll be like, oh shit, that's right, this happened, right? So I'm kind of hoping we get that thing going on. Sounds like we get dogs awake and family awake. It's about time we start thinking about heading off into the sunrise. Yeah. Also, I'm hoping that we're able to do some live stuff like Minecrafting. If we can get Joey to do some Minecrafting, that would be great. So we're going to look at that. I asked him to bring his implements of gaming so we could do that. What the hell? Yeah. Anyways, there it is. We should have a lot of fun. There should be a lot to do, and I'm gonna try to go live a couple of times with Joey while he's here, with my daughter, doing some gaming, camping. We'll do some camping live stuff. So the show will be happening. It'll just be happening live from the mountains. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be my first time doing a live remote in a long time. A long time. So we'll see. We'll see how it works. But I'm excited about camping. I'm excited that Joey's on his way. I'm excited that it is 7 in the o'clock in the a.m. so I can sign off here and get some more camping stuff put in that van and get the house cleaned up and ready for Joey to be here, because he's going to be here anytime. He's going to be here anytime today after like 3 o'clock. So yeah, baby. All right, I am going to roll end credits for the day. We got one more day this week, and it's my special day. It's the day I get to talk about nothing but me, all right? So, you know what to do, people. Be kind, spread peace and love, not bullshit. Be nice to each other. Do something for yourself, but do something for somebody else too. Why? Because it makes you feel good, makes everyone feel good. Smile. If you smile at someone, they're going to smile back, or they're going to think you're just a fucking kook, which is what I usually think. I see people smiling, and I'm like, oh man, they're crazy. What are they smiling about? Smile. It's good. It's a good thing. Most especially people, stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody going to be weird for you. You got to do it, baby. Look at my dogs. They're weird. They're weird because they try. All right? You can do it. You can do it. You can be weird, man. All right, people. Love you. Take care of yourselves. And adios, baby.